block a proposed rule at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that would require financial institutions to collect and report personal information on small businesses' loan applications, including data on rate.
The latest projections from the Social Security Trustees Program combined funds may run out in 2034, at which 80% of benefits will be payable. And the fund used to pay retirement benefits may run out even sooner, in 10 years, at which point 77% of benefits will actually be payable as well. And during a Senate hearing, the SSA Chief Secretary stated that Social Security is a pay-as-you-go program, and up to $160,000 earnings are subject to payroll taxes. In 1983, when major bills were enacted to shore up Social Security trust funds, 90% of uncovered benefits fell below the terrible maximum. And since then, it has remained above that same level. And even the Senate Budget Committee chairman has touted this bill, which is called the Medicare and Social Security Fair Share Act. It would require wages above $400,000 to be taxed for Social Security. Other Democrats also support the idea of making high earners pay a large sum into the program. Representative Larson and the senators introduced the Social Security 2100 Act bill with more than 200 Democratic co-sponsors, calling for applying Social Security payroll taxes to incomes of over $200,000, while also having the wealthy pay taxes on the businesses and income investments as well. Polls have shown that raising Social Security payroll tax is a popular topic with the public. Yet the recent Senate hearing, some leaders and experts questioned what is the right approach to help people out with their American stimulus cash. But so far, Democrats' proposals would actually push the marginal tax rate to over 50%, and many would break Joe Biden's promise not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000. Even Grassley argued this. The next cost of an increase for Social Security recipients is projected to be slightly better than previously estimated, but still the lowest in years. The Senior Citizens League predicts that. And also, they have estimated that in mid-June 2024, COLAs could be somewhere around 2.7%, a huge drop-off from 2023's 8.7% increase. And the latest, slightly larger estimate comes despite cooling inflation, which generally has the opposite effect on social asset. And now, in Maine, all recipients of the SNAP program will have their monthly benefits delivered as soon as possible. So, Chuck Schumer also said that House Republicans have encouraged their leaders to vote against the bill in a protest of what they call trillions of dollars of wasteful spending, even though it's going to the people that need stimulus the most. The House Representatives had already passed a short-term funding bill last night to avoid this government shutdown. They kicked the Friday funding deadline to next week to allow lawmakers more time to strike a deal on the spending for the remainder of the fiscal year 2023. The continuing resolution passed in a 224 to 201 vote, and now heads to the Senate, where it must pass and be sent to President Biden's desk before midnight on Friday to avoid a shutdown. This measure will keep the government funded at current levels until December 23rd. Also, folks, in a notice sent by the House Minority Leader, he said that leadership recommended Republicans to vote no on the bill in an attempt to buy additional time for a lame duck session. But now this means that gas prices are continuing to drop as demand lowered and oil prices held steady. The national average for a cost of gas is $3.26, and that's 50 cents less than a month ago and 6 cents less than a year ago. As the winter weather keeps people homebound, less demand for gas and continued stability in oil prices has contributed to the steady decline of gas prices. AAA spokesperson told Fox News that the seasonal pattern of less driving due to shorter days and crummy weather, combined with lower oil costs, is driving gas prices lower. If this trend continues, many states could see their average gas price fall by $3 a gallon. Under the weight of economic concerns, everybody, a possible surge in crisis and a changed psyche is causing oil prices last week to fall again to nearly a decade low. Oil prices have struggled mightily to hold its rally even on some potentially bullish news, each time falling back down as fundamentals look struggles. Gavin Newsom even said that he announced a proposal to penalize oil companies for reported price gouging in a bid to deter excessive price increases and keep people in California safe from this. Last week, officials said they were skipping a rate increase in June, giving themselves more time to see how they already enacted changes that were playing out in the economy. But so far, Jerome Powell emphasized that it was just too early to declare victory in the battle against rapid price increases. According to experts experts, which less expensive gas and slower gas prices are actually happening. The obscure underlying trends and a measure of core inflation excludes fuel, and food fuel is showing surprising staying power as the range of purchases from rental car to insurance continue to climb at a high price. The Fed officials have marked up their forecast of how high hardcore inflation will be at the end of 2023, and they say it's now 3.9%. While the steepest price increases appear to be over for consumers, a relief for many, development from Joe Biden has celebrated this. Between the subtle signs that inflation could stick around, people are saying that people could be getting stimulus checks. The Fed's officials are not comfortable with this yet, but they may be trying to tame price increases again, because officials have predicted last week that they would see a raise interest rates of 5.6% this year.
Reduce liquidity in the commercial real estate loan market.
We're very focused on the commercial real estate situation. You're right, of course, that a good portion of the commercial real estate loans are held in smaller banks, and supervisors are very much engaged with those banks, and it's particularly banks that have a high concentration. That's what we look for among the smaller banks, and there are some of those, but there's a playbook for working your way, working your way out of these loans, and it's particularly in the office sector where, work from home is still a pretty material factor in some areas, as you know.
Thank you. So the next question has to do with the
per month. This is, it's never happened before. And look, history's been made here, but it comes alongside the largest drop in unemployment rate in a single year on record.
The Senate in history of the United States has been amazingly and extraordinarily productive. 20 months into the Democratic majority, I just want to take a moment to highlight the many, many accomplishments we have secured in this chamber under Democratic leadership. It's the most in recent memory. The American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the CHIPS and Science Act, the Gun Safety Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, an omnibus package, and many other bills in between. Senate Democrats have worked hard every step of the way to improve the lives of American people, to help those in the middle class stay there, to help those struggling to get into the middle class a little easier to get there. And we will continue to do our work for the American people this week by passing a CR to keep the government open.
Benefits have lost around 40% of their buying power. One of the biggest proposals in the works is an increase in benefits for people who are ages 80 and older. Not only will this help older adults maintain buying power, but it will also provide a boost for retirees who are running low on savings. And while nothing is set in stone, this plan does propose increasing benefits by around 5%. And it's one of Washington's most divisive proposals, as only 53% of Americans, 53% of Republicans are in favor of voting for it. So if the Republicans decide to block this stimulus check, that means we won't be getting any stimulus payment if President Biden can't get this past the Republicans. But hopefully everybody he can, because President Biden can definitely send out stimulus checks if he's done it before. Now, the nearly 1.9 million borrowers who paid off their loans during the pause and those who